Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. Really, by liking and all the rest of it, it really helps this channel. So if you're enjoying what I'm doing, do like and let's get on with it. Okay, I'm going to talk today about the HOSTESS system. I know it's something I keep banging on about, but one of you actually posted a very pertinent quotation here on the comments about being in prison and finding that the HOSTESS system just didn't function. Well, who in their right mind would think that it would? I mean, all right, prisons have changed since the 1970s when I was there, but in the 1970s when they had ex-army officers and ex-army NCOs and actually working as prison officers, then you had discipline and you didn't mess about. And the staff actually knew how to give direct orders, and the inmates knew if they didn't accept the direct orders and take action, i.e., me saying to somebody, "Go get in your cell." It wasn't a case of, "What do you mean? I'm not doing that. Piss off." I won't dare say anything like that, because they knew that if they did, it would only be a matter of 5 seconds before hands were laid upon them and they'd be uplifted and snatched off down to the block, where they'd meet the school bully, the black dog, and the Chinese money box, all waiting for them with open arms and clenched fists, by the way. So that's how it used to work. But now this gentleman who posted this very informative little post about his experience of being incarcerated and meeting the hostess, that the girl with the tray in his prison, found that there was when there was a disturbance, all that the female staff could do was shout, "Stop it! Stop that! Ooh!" And they couldn't do anything until the male officers arrived. So basically, what you've got here are people who are wearing the uniform, carrying the hat and the keys, but unable to actually do the job. Now, there should be a risk assessment of all jobs. It's their requirement. Now, I know that we've got Sodexo and G4S running prisons. They're private prisons. They're prisons that are run for a profit. Now, that to me is an absolute disgrace. How would you like somebody to capture your mother and stick her in prison and say, "Well, she's staying there, we're making money off her, we get paid £1,000 a week to look after her, and it costs us £1.50. That's all she's getting in food." So, I mean, you wouldn't like that. You'd think this is exploitation. This isn't justice. So what you've got now are people being banged up for the profit of private companies. And they are using the HOSTESS system. Now, because they're doing that, and because the system cannot possibly have been evaluated for a risk assessment, then I believe that G4S, Sodexo, all the rest of them running the private prisons, are open for a action. Because according to the guy who posted on my comments, he said that he saw female prison officers sporting big black eyes, still working sporting big black eyes, and that they were upset and he was comforting them. Well, it's very good that you do, because it's no world for a lady actually getting down there and dealing with violent men. I mean, can you imagine a 5'2" 20-year-old hostess actually grappling with the likes of Paul Sykes? I mean, when it came to dealing with Paul Sykes, it took 3 big men all the time. And then they had to send for me with a syringe, which I stuck in his jacksie. So he had an arse full of Largactil. That shut the bastard up. But basically, the female staff just can't do it. Also, according to all the reports I get from various prisons and prison officers, that the jails are absolutely flooded with drugs. The drugs are more available in prisons than they are on the streets. And that leaves the prison staff and the other prisoners who are not high on this crack and whatever they're smoking or taking or injecting, in very delicate positions, because once you've got yourself high on that, you're out of it. You're not thinking straight. So the HOSTESS system simply cannot work, will not work, should not work. They've got to do a risk assessment, and people say to me, well, how are we going to recruit prison officers? Well, one, you will not recruit prison officers at the basic rate, because they've got to work weekends, they've got to work nights, they've got to work strange shift systems, they've got to start early in the morning. It's not quite like stacking shelves at Tesco, is it? Where you get paid more than the basic wage, and you don't run the risk of getting kicked round the landings. So if you've got, now listen, it isn't just a portion of the staff that are females, it's approximately 40% across the board. So 40% of all the staff in any major prison are going to be females, and they cannot deal with the aggravation, the threats, the intimidation, the physical brutality of situations that pertain within HM prisons, and they're there. So who has done the risk assessment? Ask Charlie Taylor. He's the Minister for Prisons, isn't he, for the time being? Yeah, ask him. Ask the Home Secretary. Yeah, come on now. Who has done the risk assessment? And if you want to know what it's like, get yourself a big hat, a set of keys and a uniform and go in there and try it. Anyway, it's D-Day today. That's the song dinger, yeah. And thanks to all those who took part in my live broadcast. I thought it went very well. Anyway, so it's song dinger time, and I'm now going to sing you a song. And as it's D-Day, I'm going to sing you a song that matches the occasion. It's Universal Soldier. I'm going to sing you that one. Are you ready? Are you ready now? Are you sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. He's 5'2" and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 31 and he's only 17. Been a soldier for 1,000 years. He's a Catholic, a Hindu, an atheist, a Jain, a Buddhist, and a Baptist, and a Jew. And he knows he shouldn't kill, and he knows he always will. Kill for you, my friend, and me for you. And he's fighting for Canada, he's fighting for France, he's fighting for the USA. He's fighting for the Russians, and he's fighting for Japan. And he thinks we'll put an end to war this way. And he's fighting for democracy, he's fighting for peace. He says it's for the good of all. He's the one who must decide who's to live and who's to die. And he never sees the writing on the wall. But without him, how would Hitler have condemned him at Laval? Without him, Caesar would have stood alone. He's the one who gives his body as a weapon to the war. And without him, all this killing can't go on. He's the universal soldier, and he really is to blame. His orders come from far away no more. They come from here and there, and you and me. And people, can't you see? That's not the way we put the end to war. That's it. Universal soldier. That's it. You see, if you refuse to go, they can't have a war, can they? Tales from the Jails, John G. Sutton. Do, please, like and subscribe.